right, so there is one more method that I'm going to show you. Another teacher at the high school uses it. I figured I'd show it to you just as another option. Like I said, I personally do not use any of these methods to factor. I learned factoring by guess and check, and it's always worked for me. If you're interested in that, I am more than happy to share. But this is another method from a teacher. So let's put up an example on here. It's called the Snowflake Method because as you work through it, it kind of looks like you've made a snowflake. So if we go with the problem, let's do 2x squared plus 17x equals negative 21. Again, this method also will work for if you have a as negative or a as positive. I am typically going to keep a as positive. It's just what works best in my mind. But this one will still work out. You'll just need to divide out a negative 1 at the very end. So this snowflake method, it uses your x value and your big X. I made it larger because it's gonna kind of take up more of the room because I'm going to use this as my explanation. So you have a times c at the top, b at the bottom. So a times c is 2 times 21, so that's 42. And our b value is 17. All right, we've got to figure out the values that will go with 42 and 17. If this is not coming to you immediately, no big deal. Remember, you can always just go factor by factor. You've got 1 and 42, you've got 2 and 21, and you can just keep going until you figure out what the factors are. This one ends up being 3 and 14. 3 times 14 is 42. And 3 plus 14 is a positive 17. As you see, we don't really have any issues with the negatives right now, but again, this method, it does not matter negative or positive. So where this method becomes a little bit different, you don't just stop here. You take your two terms, the two numbers, your magic numbers, whatever you want to call them, the 3 and the 14, and you divide by your a term. So in this case, it is 2. You divide by 2. If it simplifies, then that is going to be one of your simplified answers. So what I mean by that is 14 does evenly divide by 2. 14 divided by 2 is a positive 7. This is a positive 7. Oops, I didn't mean to highlight. Oops. Over here. This is a positive 7. So that means one of my terms is x plus 7. If it does not divide evenly, take the 3 and the 2. 3 does not divide by 2. That means the 2, that was your a term, right, is going to stick with your x, 2x, and that 3 that you've got from the 14 and 3 will stay at the end, plus 3. That is your factored form. 2x plus 3, x plus 7. Where did we get the 7? Because 14 divided by 2 is 7. Where did the 2x come from? 3 cannot be divisible by 2. And so there's your answer, 2x plus 3. I'm going to do another one with you. And then if you want to do this method, you are more than welcome to. Completely up to you. So let's see. Let's do... let me get one that actually maybe has some negatives with it. We'll do this one. I think this is in another one of the videos, so if it is a duplicate, My apologies, but you're seeing it with a different method. 18m. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and move that over. Again, my habit is to always keep a positive, so I don't have to worry about dividing out by a negative. 5m squared minus 18m plus 9. This snowflake method, the reason why it's would be called that is sometimes people will put a line like this for that division sign. So if we have a times c at the top, 9 times 5 is 45. You've got your b term at the bottom, that is negative 18. All right, so we've got 45 and 18. Our two numbers that would be multiplying to be 45 and adding to be a negative 18 is going to be negative 3 and negative 15. Negative 3 times negative 15 is 45. 3 plus negative 3 plus negative 15 is negative 18. So again, what I was saying with that snowflake method is some people say it looks like a snowflake because they'll do that to remind you to divide by the a term. I don't love just drawing that line across, so I would rather just divide by 5, divide by 5. Again, we are going to simplify this if it can. Negative 3 divided by 5 does not simplify. So that means that 5, which was our a term, stays out front, 5x, and then we'll have minus 3. Negative 15 divided by 5 does simplify. Negative 15 divided by 5 is a negative 3. So that means we're going to have x minus 3. These are both equal to 0. So you could finish solving. X equals negative 3 over 2. X equals negative 7. Over here, x equals 3/5. X equals 3. So that is the snowflake, quote unquote, method. Sometimes it's also called bottoms up, just different ways of doing it. So this is another method that you can use to factor if you would like.